Now I want to start with one sum on share capital transactions. Observe the sum on the screen. A company issued 30,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each at a premium of rupees 20 per share. Amount called up was as under. With application 30, with allotment 40 including premium 20. So in 40, 20 is the premium element. So remaining 20 is the capital element. 25 with first call, 25 with the final call. Sangam, who was allotted 500 shares, did not pay money due on allotment and first call, and his shares were forfeited by the company after making first call. Sangam has not paid allotment and first call. His shares are forfeited before demanding final call. Company reissued all the 500 shares before making final call at 60 per share. So these shares are reissued. Geeta, who was allotted 300 shares, did not pay first and final call money, and therefore her shares were forfeited by the company. Company reissued these shares at a maximum permissible discount. Now another shareholder, Geeta, allotted 300 shares, has not paid first and final call. Her shares are forfeited, granting maximum discount. Write journal entries for forfeiture and reissue of shares in the books of the company. You are not asked to write down 2 entries for application, 2 entries for allotment, 2 entries for first call, 2 entries for final call. Those 8 initial entries are not asked. You are required to write down only forfeiture and reissue entries. So, as we are not required to write down all the entries, we are not given the information about the number of applications received and the applications rejected and allotted. That information is not given to us in the sum. But suppose that by chance, if this type of sum is given to you in examination, and if you are asked to write down all the entries, then you have to presume that as the company wanted to issue 30,000 shares, applications were received to the extent of 30,000 shares. With that presumption, you can write all the entries. But in this sum, you are not asked to write down all entries, only forfeiture and reissue entries are asked to you. But I will just prepare working for your better understanding, considering if this sum is asked to you and if you are required to write down the all entries, how the working gets prepared, and if you are required to write only share forfeiture and reissue entry, how much part of the working is needed, that I will explain you while solving the sum. Now, let us start. Number of shares issued are 30,000. So here, as I told you, I have presumed that applications received are also 30,000 and there is no refund. Premium is demanded with allotment. In 40 rupees, 20 is the premium, so 20 is the capital sum. Amount demanded with application 30. With allotment, premium element is 20, so capital element is 20. 25 demanded with first call and 25 demanded with final call. Now on 30,000 shares, this is the amount received with application, no refund. So entire amount is transferred to capital account. See, this is not needed in this sum. I am explaining all these things just with an academic interest, that if you are required to write down all the entries, how your working should be prepared, and if you are required to write only share forfeiture and reissue entry, what part of working is needed, that I will explain to you in our coming stages of the sum. Now this is the capital due on allotment, this is premium due on allotment, this is first call due on, this is the final call due, capital due on final call. Now Sangam, allotted 500 shares, has not paid allotment money, so capital element and premium element both are not received. First call dues are also not received. So this is what has not been received and the shares are forfeited. Now another shareholder, Geeta, How many shares are allotted? 300 shares are allotted to her. Has not paid first and final call. So this is the first call dues not received from Geeta. These are the final call dues not received from Geeta. Now, if you are required to write down all the entries, you should find out the total amount received with allotment, first call, final call, etc. But this information is not relevant for this sum because we are required to write down only forfeiture and reissue entry. Now, out of this working, whatever the working is necessary for forfeiture and reissue entry, that I am demonstrating. This is the only working that we require for forfeiture and reissue entry. This is the amount not received. Let me find out what capital element has been received on shares forfeited. So 500 into 30. This is the capital element received. 300 into 30. This is the capital element received on shares allotted to Geeta. This is a capital element in allotment dues received. This is a premium element received. So this is the only necessary working for our sum. Now I want to write down the forfeiture entry. In forfeiture entry, so far as Sangam is concerned, called up capital is cancelled. What is the called up capital? 30 plus 20 plus 25. 75. That gets cancelled. This capital received is to be credited to forfeiture account. This premium not received will be debited to security premium account. This first call not received will be credited to share first call account. This is how the entries gets recorded. Now let me start. Called up capital 500 into 75. So share capital account debit 37,500. Security premium not received has to be debited to security premium account because security premium is credited to security premium account on due basis. So security premium account debit 10,000. The amount capital received on shares forfeited gets credited to share forfeiture account. Allotment not received 20,000, share allotment account credit. First call not received is been credited to share first call account. Now while writing the entries for first call, if amount not received on first call is transferred to calls in arrears account, then here you should credit calls in arrears account. This is an option. This is how the forfeiture entry gets recorded. Now I want to write down the reissue entry. All these shares are reissued at a price of 60. The called up capital cancel is 75. That share is reissued at a price of 60. 15 is the reissue discount granted. That reissue discount has to be given out of share forfeiture income. So 500 into 60, 30,000 is the amount received. Bank account is debited for that. Now 75 minus 60, 15 is the reissue discount. So on 500 shares at 15, 7,500 is the reissue discount. That is to be given out of share forfeiture income. So share forfeiture account debit 7,500. 2. The called up capital that was cancelled gets credited 37,500. This is how reissue entry gets recorded. Now, what was my forfeiture income? 15,000. What is my reissue discount? 7,500. That gets deducted from 15,000. I get the balance to be transferred to capital reserve. This is the share forfeiture income, reissue discount, transfer to capital reserve. So share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve account debit 7,500. This is how transfer to capital reserve entry gets recorded. After writing this forfeiture and reissue entry for Sangam, let me start with Geeta. Geeta was allotted 300 shares, did not pay first and final call money. Shares were forfeited, company reissued these 300 shares allowing maximum discount. What is the maximum discount that could be given? The discount on reissue can never exceed the forfeiture income that has occurred to the company at the time of forfeiture of shares. Here the capital received 9 plus 6,000, 15,000. That is the maximum discount that could be granted. Now let me first write down the forfeiture entry. Here the called up capital is 100 rupees. So share capital that gets cancelled is 100 rupees per share. So on 300 shares into 100, 30,000 is the share capital cancelled. Now when we write the forfeiture entry, the premium has been received. Then premium received is not considered in forfeiture entry. So let me remove this premium received from this working so that I can avoid it comfortably. Now called up capital 100 per share on 300 shares, 30,000. So share capital account debit 30,000. Now share capital account debit. Maximum permissible discount is granted. How much? 9 plus 6, 15,000. That is the maximum permissible discount that will be granted. But that will be considered where? At the time of reissue entry. At present, let me write down first of all the forfeiture income on forfeiture of shares. So share capital account debit 30,000. What is my forfeiture income? Forfeiture income is the capital received. How much capital is received? 9 plus 6, 15,000. That is the capital received. That will be credited to share forfeiture account. So share forfeiture account is credited with 15,000. Now first call not received is credited to share first call account. Final call not received is credited to share final call account. This is how the forfeiture entry gets recorded. Now I want to write down the reissue entry. At the time of reissue, maximum discount is to be granted. As I repeatedly tell you that maximum discount will be 9 plus 6, 15,000. And the capital account that gets credited is 30,000. So cancel capital, called up capital that has been cancelled, 30,000 will be credited at the time of reissue of shares. And when the capital account is credited with 30,000, maximum discount granted is 15,000. So cash received is 15,000. This is one way to explain the amount received on the issue of shares. The another way to explain, whenever you want to give a maximum discount, you must recover at the time of reissue the amount originally not received. When the original allotment was done, so your 7,500 plus 7,500 is the amount not received because of which the shares are forfeited. And when you reissue, this is the amount that you must receive. So now, let me write out the reissue entry. Maximum discount is equal to total forfeiture income. So this forfeiture income 15,000 is the discount granted that gets recorded in a reissue entry. Here the forfeiture account is credited. So share forfeiture account gets debited with 15,000. Observe it. Share forfeiture account is debited with 15,000. Now, share capital account is to be credited with 30,000. So 30 minus 15, 15,000 is the cash received that is to be debited to bank account. Now, instead of giving you the information that maximum possible discount is granted, the another way of asking the question, what is the minimum share issue price? What is the minimum amount that must be recovered at the time of reissue of shares? So minimum share issue price of forfeited shares is equal to capital not received on forfeited shares. What is the capital not received on forfeited shares? 7,500 and 7,500, 15,000 not received, that must be recovered. So bank account can be debited with 15,000. This is how you can work out. Or the other way to work out is from 30,000 if you deduct this 15,000 discount granted. So this is how you can explain that bank account is debited with 15,000. Now entire forfeiture income is granted as discount. So no balance in forfeiture account is left with need be transferred to capital reserve. So no entry is required for transferring to capital reserve. This is how reissue entry gets recorded. There is no need to write the entry for transfer to capital reserve. This is how this sum gets solved. The total of all the 5 entries is this much, and if you want to observe all the 5 entries at one place with narration, just observe, you will find them on the screen. Next. This is how all the entries appear in your notebook when you try to solve the sum. I think you have followed this sum. Thanks to all of you.